You're listening to Let's Stay Together, a podcast about Fruits Basket by Natsuki Takaya. I'm Ellen.
And I'm Kayla.
And today we're discussing chapters 102 and 103. Woo!
Ooh.
I mean, I'm excited.
It's the beginning of a new volume. It's got Kazuma on the front.
Oh, that's true. It's if you're reading the special edition ones, it has Hana and Uo on the front still. It's like partway through. I guess it's the halfway point in that volume. We're gonna do our summary and the discussion of the a spoiler-free discussion, then spoilery discussion today, just like usual. It'll be sweet. We're running out of banter these days. Only Animal Crossing Doc. That's right.
Oh, he has banter.
Yeah, he does. Okay, chapter 102 opens with Machi's narration. It's almost spring, but the snow still fell. I hate it when the snow builds up. All that white spread over everything, the perfection that expands undisturbed. I hate it. In the classroom, Machi sees a brand new box of white chalk sticks, and her eyes widen and become almost enraged. She knocks the box off the table, scattering the chalk. In the student council room, the kids talk about how graduation is almost here. Guys, shut up and listen to this important thing I have to say, Kakeru says. When the snow gets thick enough, we should have a snowball fight, or better yet, a skating tournament. We'll freeze the halls and have races, and I'll never lose. Ha ha ha! That's stupid, Nao yells, and Yuki's like, that's stupid. Man, now I'm depressed. I guess I'll go to sleep, Kakeru replies, and Yuki's like, don't. And Kimi's like, if you buy her a bag, Kimi will let you use her lab. Nao's like, everyone stop horsing around. And where's Kuragi? Some girls show up with boxes and tell the student council that Machi is busy cleaning up the chalk that she spilled. The girls complain, specifically to Yuki, about Machi and the chalk, and they say that there's a rumor that she tried to kill her little brother. It can't be true. Kimi will always believe in Machi, Kimi says. Machi arrives and then runs off when she realizes that they were talking about her. Now it's like, see, it's totally true. It can't be. Kimi believed in you, Kimi says. Immediately flipping. In the hall, Machi remembers her parents holding her younger brother and saying, you've always been jealous of him, haven't you? I thought so. Let's put some distance between you two. It's for your own good. I'm sure you'll do better on your own. Machi looks a bit younger than now. Her eyes are empty as they speak to her. Later, Yuki and Kakeru walk down the street in the snow together. Kakeru says that what the girl said is pretty close to the truth. Machi has a younger brother, his half-brother, and the family decided that he's the heir, and it got out that Machi was jealous and tried to kill him. They decided to then make her live by herself. Unbelievable, huh? He says. And he heard the story from his parents, so it might be a bit biased. Hey, wanna try asking Machi? He suggests, and Yuki's like, huh? And then Kakeru explains that they can just go to her place. She might talk to Yuki about it. Yuki protests and she lives alone, and Kakeru's like, oh, relax. Nothing's gonna get aroused in that place. And Kakeru comments on how the snow is piling up. Yuki leans on him and is like, please stop changing subjects. Kakeru says that it just reminded him of something. There was once a family reunion on a day like today, and he went outside because the conversation was dull. Machi was outside too, and she was walking around making footprints. She was very serious about it. She never said anything. I wonder why she bothered, Kakeru says. They ring Machi's doorbell, and Machi answers. Kakeru smiles, and Yuki looks nervous. Star, Moon, Sun! Machi screams. And tries to slam the door. Kakeru rolls it open and says, pardon the intrusion. I hope that people know what I'm talking about. It wasn't like like obvious like Kyo's like circle, square, triangle.
Yeah. It's a Qbert language.
Yes. But it was just like Kyo. It was hilarious to me. Kakeru holds the door open and says, pardon the intrusion, over Machi screaming. Machi protests as Kakeru invites Yuki into her crazily messy apartment. This place is still a sty. My socks won't turn black, will they? Kakeru sasses her, and she's like, go away.
As a side note, they have never been more sibling-like than in this scene.
No. Everything about this is sibling-like. I think I have a comment. I wrote these notes yesterday, and I totally forgot what I wrote. But I think that I said something about Kakeru's brother energy at some point in this. Yeah. Yuki smiles at her. This brings back memories, a forest of decay. Go home, she says. Check it out, Kakeru says. Here, Union, and he hands something. And Yuki unfurls what he handed him, and it turns out to be one of Machi's bras. And their expressions are priceless. Oh, this is where I wrote Kakeru's brother energy. It seems like something a brother would do. Machi grabs Yuki's shirt, and he's like, how is this my fault? All right, I don't have to take out the trash, Kakeru says later with a salute, face still red with a hand slap mark from Machi and a bonk on the head from Yuki. Machi asks if they came all the way there to clean, and Yuki says no. Then you came to ask about what those girls said, she says. Do whatever you want. You can believe it or not, I don't care. No one believed me, Machi thinks. Not even my parents. So I won't try to do anything about it now. I don't care anymore. Machi sits in her bed with her fists clenched. Yuki stands and tapes what looks like a sliding door or window beside her. It's kind of hard to tell. It's like cut off in the scene, in most of these scenes. Do you hate things that are in order, Machi? Yuki asks. Snowy roads, organized rooms, stuff like that. Do you hate perfection? Machi's eyes widen. Yes. It scares me, she says. And she remembers words from her childhood, being told to be perfect at all times. She thinks that she was always nervous, that if she wasn't perfect, she would get in trouble. I felt like I was being threatened, she says. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't stand it. There were times that I was desperate to live up to her expectations, but now she has my little brother. Machi remembers her mother talking to another woman, with Machi beside her. I finally have the son I always wanted, her mother says. I'm so relieved. To be honest, Machi is a little, she has no individuality. Such a dull child. She's average in everything. All she can do is study. Such a waste. Why'd you say those things? Machi asks her mother. I was just doing what you told me to do. I thought I was working hard for you, Mother. You make it sound like it's my fault, Machi's mother says. Like I did something wrong. But it might be my fault. Maybe there was something wrong with the way I raised you, she says. And Machi is disappointed. In another memory, Machi stands in a tidy room. That wasn't what I wanted you to say, she thinks. I don't know what to do. Machi starts to get anxious in the memory and her eyes widen and she sweats. What should I, the mistake, do? What can I do? Where should I go? Machi knocks things to the floor and tears the curtains off the hinges. At the end of the memory, she kneels on the floor. In the present, Machi kneels on her bed, head down. Yuki kneels beside her on the floor. You worked very hard, haven't you? You worked and worked. You gave it everything you had, and now the Machi that I know exists on this earth. That makes me happy. Yuki smiles a soft smile. You really gave it everything you had, didn't you? And he pats her on the head. She looks toward him. I never thought I'd be praised, she thinks. I never thought the day would come when I'd be praised. I'm imperfect, warped, a waste, and yet there was someone who would still praise me. And Machi cries. I thought he might be cold. I thought he'd catch a cold. I was just putting a blanket on him. I was just trying to cover my sleeping brother. In Machi's memory, she's about to tuck in her sleeping brother with a blanket, and her mother comes in and yells, What are you doing? We see the memory again of her parents saying that they thought she was jealous. But, Machi says to Yuki in the present, they'd already decided on how I felt. Nothing could get through to them, but I was never jealous of my baby brother. Machi buries her face in her hands. Okay, Yuki says. Okay. Kakeru is returned and sits outside the room, listening to them talk. If the snow keeps piling up, Yuki says, we can go make footprints in it together, all right? He smiles and she looks at him, still teary. I promise, he says. Kakeru's phone rings suddenly. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry, I got an email. Damn it, and you guys were just about to kiss, weren't you? The snow didn't pile up, Machi narrates. It all melted away. Later, at a student council meeting, Machi sits next to Yuki. A fresh box of chalk is set on the table in front of her, and without skipping a beat in the announcement sheet that Yuki's reading, he reaches over into the box and breaks a stick of chalk in half. I wonder, Machi thinks, will he remember until the next time it snows? I wonder if he'll walk with me. She looks down and blushes. I wish it would snow. I wish it would pile up. That was the first time I actually hoped for it. That's the end of chapter 102.
Aw.
Yay. So good! I screamed into the microphone. I narrated myself. He likes Yuki too, obviously.
It's like, why not Burb? Why Machi?
Rat and Burb should be together. Yeah. Toru has like a little, like a symbol. Like she has a little like onigiri. I feel like the student council should have little symbols too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I don't know what that would be, but
yeah, and Hanario have their little
icons too.
Symbols too.
Fish and flour.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Kimi's just like a bag of money.
Yeah.
Now is a traffic ticket. Kakeru is like a water gun, and Machi. What would Machi be? Maybe like a like a really short stubby pencil that's like broken in half or something. I don't know. Such random things. A red ribbon that's slightly frayed on the end so that it's not perfect. How's my assessment? Good?
Sure.
You're like, no comment. All right. Let's go talk about something else. Chapter 103 opens with Yuki apologizing to a girl who's confessed her feels for him. The girl cries and leaves, and Yuki walks down the hall sadly. We see the narration. I've been thinking about it for a long time because we were close to having to say goodbye. What did I want to get across to you the most? The one I love. Motoko Minagawa, to whom this narration belongs, catches Yuki in the hallway and asks to speak to him after school in the courtyard. Yuki is surprised, and he says that he'll meet her. He's about to say something else, but then she takes off cheerfully and says she'll be waiting. Nao and Kakeru show up in the hallway, and Motoko wishes them good luck with all their student council duties as she leaves. "What's all this, Yun?" Kakeru asks, leaning on Yuki. "Another summons?" "I'm so dense," Yuki says. "What, you just figured out how she feels now?" "You're more than dense," Kakeru says. In the council room, Motoko's feelings for Yuki are all the hot goss, and Kimi says that it's selfish. Kakeru says that she'll feel better once she gets dumped, and people can feel bad for her. Kimi says it must be hard for Yuki. He's been getting summoned a lot for confessions the last few days, and he's been super gloomy the whole time. "It's because I can do nothing but hurt those girls," he says, dismayed. Now slams the wall with his hand. "I hate to break it to you, but it's only fair that you should shoulder that kind of karma. You may hurt people, but no matter what, you're at the top of the social ladder." "Whoa, what's all this, Chibi?" Kakeru asks. "Are you jealous because you're unpopular yourself, Chibi?" And Nao is like, "Stop calling me Chibi. So I'm short, so I haven't gotten taller than my sister. Is that so wrong? Don't short people have a right to exist?" "I didn't say anything," Yuki says. "That's right, Nao-chan," Kimi comments. "It's not your height or your face. A man's charm comes from the size of his wallet." And Nao, Scream complains that his upbringing was average, not like some Somas with all their family assets. And Kimi points out that Nao must have a crush on someone that's in love with Yuki to be so jealous of him. Kakeru points out that he did say that he was Yuki's rival. "This is stupid," Nao says, and he runs out of the council room, which Kakeru interprets as confirmation. Kimi wonders who Nao likes, and Kakeru quote-unquote consoles Yuki by patting his head and saying that there's nothing he can do. Nothing that he can do will change Nao's mind, and that he's a bad guy in Nao's head. "Could it be that Nao likes Kimi?" Kimi says, and Kakeru's like, "I'm pretty sure it's not you." Yuki remembers thinking the same way about Kyo and looks down sadly, and Machi notices. Kimi and Kakeru continue to bicker. Yuki sighs, and Machi stares at him, and then lifts her hand nervously like she might reach out to console him, but before she can do anything, Kimi pushes her out of the way and says, "Yuki likes Kimi, right?" And Yuki sasses her for pushing Machi. It was very cute. Outside of the courtyard, Motoko thinks, "When the day comes that I graduate, my place in the school becomes someone else's. What it means to graduate is to say goodbye." Yuki meets her outside and apologizes for keeping her waiting. She's not sure what to say, and she remembers when she told him in chapter 42 that she wasn't giving up yet on becoming a better person and on their possible relationship. She collects herself and then says, standing, "I'm glad to have met you, Yuki. I'm glad I came to this school. Every day was as exciting as a festival. I got angry, I laughed. I know I caused problems, but at the heart of it all, you were always there, Yuki. I loved you, I really did. That's why I'll be praying. I want you to find your own happiness. Maybe you're happy now, and if that's the case, I'll pray that you find even more happiness. I'm sure the days I spent here are what they call happiness, and you gave me that happiness, Yuki. This is the only way that I can repay you. Thank you." Motoko thinks, "I'm not standing here because I want my feelings to be accepted at this point. I only want to tell you that I was happy. I'm truly glad that I met you. Let those feelings reach him." Yuki stands too and wipes a tear away from her cheek. "I don't deserve those feelings," he says. "But yes, thank you very much." He blushes and smiles, and she smiles too. Yuki apologizes that he never realized her feelings, and she stops him because she's happy and doesn't want to spoil the moment. "Besides, there might be someone who's always had an unrequited love for me," Motoko says, and Yuki suggests former President Takei, and she's like, "That's completely out of the question." He laughs and smiles, and Motoko cries. We see graduation day. Makoto Takei holds his diploma with a clenched fist and cries. The main Prince Yuki trio look kind of miffed. After graduation, Nao finds Motoko alone in a classroom. She's about to leave, but he takes her hand, and Motoko is surprised. I always... Nao blurts out, blushing, and then gathers his courage. "Even when you leave something, you find something new. Go ahead and say goodbye. What comes next is nice to meet you. So I'm hoping for you. Even after you graduate, I hope you'll be okay. I want you to keep smiling so brightly. I'll be praying," Nao says. Makoto takes his hands in hers. "Okay, Sakuragi-kun, you take care too, and thank you," she says, smiling, tears in her eyes. Motoko leaves, and Nao blushes. Later, Nao meets up with Kakeru and Yuki, and Kakeru teases him. "Did you cool off your melon?" "My melon is always cool," Nao says, and sassily asks if they finished their work. We transition away with the narration, "Goodbye, and nice to meet you." Elsewhere, Hiro's mother introduces him to his new baby sister, Hinata, and she asks if he wants to hold her. "I can't do that. Hinata's a girl," he says. "Okay, Mama will just have to hold you both," his mom says with a smile, and Hiro smiles too. At the main house, Kagura visits with Shigure and Hattori. Rin is in the hospital again, and Kagura accepted her high school diploma on her behalf. "Hey, is Isuzu really in the hospital?" Kagura asks. "That's what I hear," Hattori says, "but no one can tell me which hospital she's in or how to contact her." "Didn't your mother ever tell you not to poke your nose where it doesn't belong?" Shigure asks. "Of course she did," Kagura says. I'm afraid, I'm afraid she won't come back." The chapter closes on Akito leaving a room with scissors in hand. Long strands of black hair falling to the ground near her. And that's the end of chapter 103.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm just going to leave it at that. That's how I feel when I read that chapter. Sort of like guttural scream. I hope it got picked up on the microphone well. What a roller coaster ride. So many confessions. So many emotions. Especially fear right at the end. What should we talk about first? Do you want to talk about some cute things first?
Sure.
Okay. Can we talk about Machi and how great this is? Everything about this is?
Yeah, it's a sweet chapter. We finally get kind of the last little bit of Machi's deal.
Yeah.
All explained.
That's true. We got a bit of her sort of like backstory before. But this is like a bit more that wasn't quite revealed yet.
Yeah. And like it's mostly a pretty uplifting chapter. Like we get the like horrible stuff from her horrible family. But we see like she's got like it obviously ends with the really sweet scene with Yuki, and we see she's got like support from Kakeru, and it's just a good chapter for Machi.
I like that Kakeru is like, let's go, what do you say we go visit her? And he just like drags Yuki there, first of all. I think he is, and he's doing it to be supportive.
Yeah, like I think he obviously kind of knows, like kind of suspects what Machi's deal is, and like suspects that she'll talk more about it with Yuki, and that'll help her out. So
yeah, it seems like he kind of orchestrated, not like the girls talking about it, not the classmates talking about it, but I feel like he kind of orchestrated being like, I bet that she'll talk to someone who's not me about it, and she's not like talking to her family. So
yeah, like just like that whole conversation leading up where he's just like, so yeah, you want to hear like that crazy story? Kind of funny, huh? Hey, how about we go talk to Machi? And
yeah, exactly. All the while being like, she'll probably talk to Yuki about this. She won't talk to me, and she doesn't talk to her family. But
yeah, I like how he like politely forces his way in too. Like she's trying to slam the door, and he like catches it and is like, excuse us.
Yeah, exactly. Yuki's completely unfazed.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's brings back memories. So good. And they go and like clean up all her stuff for her, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Do you think they left it just messy enough that it didn't bother her?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like mostly because they're teenage boys and they just like there was stuff they just didn't want to clean. Yuki was like taping up her thing, like taping up whatever that is, like a door or a screen or something, window.
Yeah. When
they have their heartwarming discussion. Yuki's so kind when she kind of like dumps all of these feelings on him. He's just like, okay.
Yeah, I like the just quiet accepting okay after she like confesses the whole thing at the end.
He also praised her, which is what she wanted.
Yeah.
Do you hear my screaming? I mean Yuki's someone who knows what it's like not to be praised.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think he would like sympathize quite a bit with her situation and how she's feeling. We talked about it before on how like similar their like the emotional aspect of their upbringing was with their like parents like wanting them to be perfect and deciding what they're going to do for everything, and then like being like, oh, they're so dull, they don't have a personality, and they're like, I was doing what you told me to do.
And being, in his case, just being like left in an abusive place, and then in her case being like completely shut out, which is, I mean, not dissimilar, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't Yuki tell Kakeru about some of his deal?
Yeah.
Maybe that's how he kind of put two and two together, that maybe they would could talk to each other, could relate with each other.
Yeah.
I feel like Kakeru would like, he says that he's dumb and he like acts like he's dumb, but he's very perceptive. I can't remember if we talked about this before about him, but I feel like this is a good example of that. Yeah,
and I like the scene toward the end where he's just like sitting outside the door listening to them talk and like smiles. He's like, just as planned.
Well, according to Kakeru or whatever. I mean, obviously, I think he's trying to take care of Machi. Like, we've seen a couple of times in the past where he like secretly saved her from bullying and some other stuff. But he also I think he's trying to be a good friend to Yuki. I think he sees their situation, the developing romance, and he's like being their wingman.
Yeah, it's like he's being a good bro.
Yeah. Like a bro and a good brother.
Yes.
In both senses of the word. I never really thought about it before until this read through that like both Yuki and Machi have like kind of brother issues, like weird relationships with their brothers. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's just an interesting like thing they have in common, I guess. Yeah.
Also, like in the scene when Yuki and Kakeru were walking like to Machi's house, and he just like slumps at Kakeru's like, please stop changing subjects.
They have a really cute friend dynamic. It's funny, we were just talking about how, so in the anime, if you're listening to this, you probably watched the anime, I guess, but like the first episode of season 2 of the anime, we released our episode of it on Monday, and we were talking about how it's funny to see like how much like Yuki didn't really like him when they met, and like now how cute and close they are as friends. Or lovers, depending on how you feel about the situation.
Yeah, but yeah, these are like good chapters to contrast that episode.
Yeah.
It's kind of a culmination of the whole like Yuki and Machi's interactions and shows like how far Yuki and Kakeru have come.
And also Motoko.
Yeah. But just compared to that first meeting where he's like, is this going to be okay? Am I going to survive this?
In fact, you'll be best friends.
Yeah.
And lovers.
Yes.
Purposely leaves end of sentence open for interpretation. Yeah, it was great. What weird happenstance that they just happened to release those two things and then we happened to record this episode. But it's interesting to see how far how much their relationship has changed even in kind of a relatively short period of time. Like, they can be very close. Yuki's very friendly with Kakeru. They even like tease each other back and forth, which is great. And Machi too, she kind of withdrew away from Yuki in the first episode, the first time they met, and now she's come around to like opening up about some of the like really deep traumatizing things in her life.
Yeah, like the contrast of that first scene where he like even like reaches toward her, is like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "I'm fine," like jerking away from him, to like here where, you know, he like pats her on the head, and then like in the next chapter she like almost reaches out to try and comfort him.
It was so cute. I'm just laughing because it was adorable. The way that's drawn, where she's like he's like, and then you can see her like staring at him like, I don't know what to do, and then like reaching out her hand like, maybe I should do something, and then Kimi like pushes her out of the way before she can do anything. It was wonderful. Yeah,
it's really funny set of panels.
I feel like I relate. It was cute. But yeah, so she in their first meeting she recoiled from his touch, and then now it's come around to where they're like physically comforting each other, which is cute. Yeah, this is the romance comedy that we signed up for.
Yes.
Even the second chapter that we talked about for the most part was too.
Yeah,
it's like so many confessions.
Except for the very end.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. This is the shoujo that we all.
Yeah, these two chapters, except for like those last 2 pages, are like just straight up like high school comedy romance drama stuff.
Pretty much. I mean, we'll talk about the last part, but
yeah.
Do you have any other things that you want to say about Kakeru, the sleepy trio, Kakeru, Machi, and Yuki?
Let me see.
The sleepy trio that I'm referring to is a post that was going around Tumblr where they had illustrations of Yuki and Kakeru. Yuki like waking up half asleep, Kakeru sleeping on the couch, and like Machi like half asleep in her like messy room in like one of the chapters we reviewed recently. Yeah, made my heart smile.
Yeah, I like how in the next chapter Kakeru's just like, okay, I'm just gonna go to sleep then.
Yeah. He's like, well, I'm depressed now. Time for me to sleep. It's like, do you just like and
he just like lays down on the floor like right there.
Yeah, and they're like, don't. Do you think that he just like he has one mode? It's like talk a lot or sleep. It's one or the other.
Yeah, he's like a greyhound. They're either running 1,000 miles an hour or they're fast asleep.
Maybe his little symbol can be a greyhound.
Yeah.
It's slightly different than Sugar Ray's.
Yeah.
He's an honorary Mabudachi. He should have an animal.
I think his symbol would be like a little pot, since he says that's how his name is read.
Yeah, you're right. I'm so mistaken. I was so wrong about him being water gun, or whatever I said before. I was thinking about his outlaw black inner character. He's like too innocent to be a gun, but not too innocent to not be some kind of toy gun. Did the words I say even made sense? It's fine, whatever. None of that sentence was grammatically correct. It's fine. Machi has to be a maple leaf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be because she likes red.
Yeah. I mean, I still think Kimi is probably like a pile of money, like I said, a bag of money, like the bag of money emoji, or just like a diamond, that like a blingy diamond, like that's sparkly.
Yeah.
Like a rhinestone, not a diamond.
Yeah. Kimi's in top form in this chapter too.
Kimi was great. I loved her being like We didn't comment on Kimi. We didn't comment on Naoya. We didn't comment on Kimi being like... Kimi was like, Kimi believes in Machi, and then immediately Machi leaves. She's like, what? Kimi believed in you. Like, I thought that was hilarious.
Classic
I mean, so many other things, but yeah. That one was my favorite one of her sets of lines.
Yeah, I love that. She's just like, she looks so dramatic and earnest when she's saying it. Like, it can't be. Kimi believed in you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she's earnest in the first one, and then she's like so betrayed in the second one.
Yeah.
Kimi believed in you. Maybe I should make that the title for this episode. I mean, has nothing to do with anything that happened.
It's just called Kimi believed in you.
There's no episode number either. It just says Kimi believed in you. What were you even looking up? Something about Kakeru?
Yeah, I can't remember. I just remembered something funny.
Oh, you were like, let me check your notes about Machi and
if
there's anything else to say about Machi, Kakeru, and Yuki.
Yeah, I don't have my
Okay.
Except for just funny things.
Funny things. Kimi believed in you.
Yes.
Okay, well, good. We covered all your notes about Kimi. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I'll make Kimi notes.
There's a whole section of your notebook that's just titled like things Kimi said.
Yes.
An ode to Kimi. Okay, enough about Kimi. Let's talk about Motoko. Let's talk about Motoko. Thank God I'll never talk about them ever again after this.
Yeah, it's funny how often they show up in the same chapters.
They only show up in the same chapters to make me struggle.
It's like you wouldn't think they were that closely related characters. Like, but
I'm laying my head on the desk where no one can hear it. I guess, but they're kind of like they're both intertwined in their love of Yuki. Like Motoko,
they're like the Yuki cheer squad, but
pretty much because Motoko has the fan club, and then she's kind of like a weird like rival with Makoto. In the sense that for a brief period of time, she was like, tell me who's on the student council. And he was like, no.
Yeah.
But then they're both like, I would stay back for Yuki, and I love Yuki this, and I love Yuki that. So they're kind of similar in that way.
Yeah.
But I love the little scene of them at graduation where he's Makoto's holding the diploma and then like with his fist clenched and like crying.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like this is how I felt when I got my diplomas for school. Yeah. Like, yes, I'm out of here, bitches. His last hurrah in the series, I think. But yeah, I actually thought Motoko's confession. It's not really a confession, but her thing that she says to Yuki was actually pretty nice. Like this chapter, I knew there was going to be another confrontation between the two of them, and I didn't really remember how it went because I think as stated in our anime break, I don't care that much about Motoko, but it was nice. It was very sweet. She was like, I had a lot of things I wanted to say to you, but in the end, like, I just wanted to say thank you for the time that we spent together, which was nice.
Yeah, it's a nice kind of culmination of her little character arc.
Yeah, her mini growth. Everybody grows
chapters,
in Furuba. I think we talked about that a long time ago. Remember when we talked about her when she's like first introduced, and I was like, but she actually has like a thing that happens, and this was the thing. So, so it was nice.
Yeah, and we got some now focus for once.
Finally,
we got some stuff to do.
I also enjoyed Nao's sass where he was like, "What? Short people don't have the right to exist," which made me laugh multiple times while I was reading it.
Yeah, I like how he's like extra like irritable in this chapter, and everyone else in the council is like, "What's your deal?" And then like immediately figure out what his deal is.
And then he runs away.
Yeah.
And then Kakeru's like, "Oh, I figured it must be true," because he ran away. So good.
It's kind of a funny thing, but also just sort of shows that the council like really are like kind of friends at this point, know each other pretty well, because they're like, "Oh, he's being like extra now right now."
I think they do know each other well, and they are. I mean, they're basically like teasing him, and he's kind of like, whatever. And then even at the end when he comes back, Kakeru's like, "Oh, did you cool off your Bellin?" And he's like, "My Bellin's always cool." Anyway, like they kind of like, so he also doesn't like let their teasing really get to him, except for that time where he's like, "No, they're gonna figure out my secret feelings."
Yeah.
I mean, I thought what Nao says to Motoko is also nice. He's not like, "I love you." He's like, you know, like there's always a chance for the future or whatever. It's like saying goodbye means that the next thing will be like, nice to meet you or whatever. Yeah,
they're both very sweet. They're very unselfish love confessions.
They're barely I mean, we know that they're pining for each other, or they're pining. She's pining for Yuki, and he's pining for her for Motoko. But like, I don't think they even confess they're like. They don't say that they like each other. They don't say they love each other. They just say like, I'm hoping for you or whatever. So, yeah, it's a
it's more just like I'm happy to have spent this time with you. It made my time at the school more enjoyable, and I hope you go on to be happy,
Yes.
which is like very sweet.
Yes, the best kind of confession.
Yeah.
It's like a non-love confession. Question mark.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
It's like, I love you, but don't feel weird about it.
I care about you a lot. Hope you do good, kid.
Yeah.
Kind of. When you add kid to something, it makes it less weird. I mean, or more, I guess.
Punch to the shoulder.
Yeah.
You know.
You're like, I really like, thanks for spending time with me. Punch to the shoulder.
Yeah.
That's what you do if you're like Uo. Although Uo had a love confession as well with Karino, right? That was more like, I didn't think our time together was a waste. Actually, it was kind of similar now that you think about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't dissimilar.
Hers is a little more aggressive.
Yes. There's a lot more screaming. I mean, although now it seemed to be yelling a lot. I think there were a lot of exclamation points in his dialogue.
Yeah. I think he just can't go lower than like a 6 or 7 on the scale, so that's kind of, that's his neutral.
That's his emotional is screaming, but his neutral is like just yelling a little bit.
Yeah.
He is kind of like that. He's always kind of amped up. He never is like neutral. Like, I feel like Yuki's very like quiet all the time.
Yeah.
That's kind of his style of talking. Even when he's like, that's stupid. Like,
Yeah.
whenever he makes his like offhanded comments, either to like based on something Shigure said to Kyo or during like the student council, he kind of does the same thing where one person will be like, that's dumb. Like when Nao was like about Kakeru's crazy skating in the halls idea.
Yeah, I like that
Nao
panel.
was like,
it's like, that's stupid. And he's like, it's stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he just like confirms. It's like, I can confirm that is indeed stupid.
I agree with Nao about this, but in a more quiet way. I like how Kakeru, my favorite Kakeru line so far has been this, shut up and listen to something I have to say, or whatever.
Yeah.
What did he say? It was really great.
Guys, shut up and listen to this important thing I have to say.
Yeah.
Proceeds to say something completely
Stupid.
unimportant.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
I used to have that as like, it's like an icon on LiveJournal.
Nice.
It's just the panel of him saying like, shut up and listen to this important thing I have to say.
I have to say. That's wonderful. What a flashback from the past.
Yeah.
Did I say flash from the past? I meant blast from the past. Talking not good today. Any more things to say about Motoko, now Makoto? Any speak now or forever hold your peace, because they're not coming back.
Yeah. No, I think that's all I got as far as them.
Oh, I have one other thing I just thought of, which is that I liked the memories that that Takaya picked for things. So like Yuki has this memory of talking about Kyo, like when Kakeru is like, oh yeah, nothing that you do is going to change the fact that he hates you, and it's Yuki thinking about Kyo. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I like that moment with the whole like it doesn't matter, you're the bad guy in his eyes, and he's like, well, that seems fair. Like,
Yeah.
because he's had the same like perspective, and
Yeah.
it just goes to show his like growing self-awareness of himself in that situation in their relationship. So yeah, it's just a nice little thing.
Yeah, it was nice. Even the little memories that that Motoko had too, of like she has like that. It's a flashback. It's actually it was the thing that happened in the anime episode that we just watched. So it's in chapter 42 or whatever, where she's like, I'm not giving up yet. I had that little flashback too, which was nice.
Yeah.
I like it when there's little callbacks. I mean, there's been a bunch already in the series so far, but I felt like these two were interesting. Especially the one with Yuki, because it was like so far back. That was like when they were like walking.
That was like the first
school.
chapter.
Yeah, I think so.
It was like before we met Kyo.
Yeah, exactly. It was before they turned into animals.
Yeah.
It's before she discovered the family curse.
No ordinary curse.
Nope. Not your ordinary family curse. No, that'll never not be funny. Just like the night school doctor. Continuity jokes. I'm bringing them. Okay, the last part. Let's talk about Kagura talking to Shigure and Hattori. Although there's not that much to say, except...
Should we talk about that Hiro's baby sister?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I skipped something else exciting that was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hiro's baby sister has been born, which is cute. Hiro's mom was in fine form as usual, being the best mom, being the best parent, other than Shisho in the Soma family.
Yeah. And Hiro's being a good boy.
Yeah, Hiro's always a good boy.
Yeah. It's cute. It's a very smiley little scene, so...
He's like, I can't do that. And she's like, well, I just have to hold you both. And it was like, oh, my heart. The shoujo I was promised. I mean, it was very cute. And he's all smiley. Everybody's smiley. I like baby Hinata. She's in a couple other things.
Hiro's mom holding a baby and a sheep.
A baby and a moderately sized teenage sheep. How big do you think a teenage equivalent of a sheep is? He's no longer a lamb.
Heavier than a baby.
Yeah, they'd have to all sit on the floor, and he'd just have to like stand next to her, probably.
You can maybe have Sheep Hero like kind of on your lap, and then the baby kind of resting on top.
I think like baby Hinata should take
fluffy.
rides on Sheep Hero. I think it has to happen. You know, there's got to be a family, like a baby photo of them like that somewhere.
Yeah. So could keep this in the private photo album.
Well, everybody has their.
Or you can just be like, oh no, we just went to the petting zoo.
Yeah, petting zoo.
It's like, how come it's labeled Hiro and Hinata? Where's Hiro? Oh, he's in the background there.
There's a whole realm of headcanon that I've never dug into before. I was just like, if you shear Hiro as a sheep, does that mean his hair is short when he changes back? I have questions. Can we start a little like Hiro yarn business? Like,
so maybe you get like a cursed sweater.
If you put on the sweater, does it change into a person? Wait, maybe when you hug the sweater, it turns into people hair. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The world doesn't deserve to hear the things that we just said.
It's not ready.
No. Oh boy. Okay. Speaking of hair, should we talk about the last scene?
Yeah.
An effortless segue. Not disturbing at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? Clearly Rin's hair. That was that scene. So fucked up.
Yep.
It didn't really show. I mean, it was hinted at last time where she is, but didn't really show exactly this time.
Yeah, it's just something bad's going down.
Something terrible is happening. But it's okay because, not spoiler, we'll find out next time. That's going to be the topic of what happens next time. But I was like, oh, Kagura. First of all, I have questions. How did she graduate when she wasn't at school?
I guess she took enough to pass, but...
Maybe she did her exams and then she just didn't go to she couldn't go to the graduation, so Kagura went for her.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, Kagura pretended to be her, like, stole one of her uniforms and was just like, I'm Rin now, give me this diploma? Or do you think she just went and accepted it?
I think she just accepted it. But if this was a more traditional romance comedy, that would definitely be what happened.
Like, Rin's missing, but we have to accept her diploma. We're gonna have to find a way. Momiji's like, and I'm both of their mothers. I mean, what? Yeah. There's a lot of dangerous headcanon in this dangerous discussion chat in this episode. That's what would happen if it was like Oran level shoujo.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. And nobody would know the difference.
Yeah, it's definitely an Oran scheme.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, it's something bad is certainly happening to Rin at Kito's behest, and nobody seems to know. Even Hattori doesn't know where she is. Although I feel like it might be implied that Shigure knows that something's going on, where he's like, don't ask questions. But
yeah,
I don't think he actually knows. I was just like, why is Shigure being such an a-hole? I mean...
Because he's Shigure.
It's not out of character, but this time he's just like, don't ask questions, Kakura. And it's like, or ask questions! Why are you being so weird? Don't you care where Rin is? Listen.
Yeah. I mean, it could be like something bad is obviously happening to her. Maybe you should keep something bad from happening to you.
Yes. He was like, didn't your mother tell you not to stick your nose and stuff? And I mean, Kakura's mother actually has, so.
Yeah.
Actually,
literally.
Literally, we saw. She's like, I don't want you going to that beach house with all those All those Junichi. Just like that. That's exactly how it happened. I'm spreading the facts.
Zodiac boys are a bad influence on you.
I don't want you hanging around those Zodiac boys. With their Beatles haircuts and their greaser jackets. I mean... I'm just... just coping with the sadness. Don't mind me. I want to leave the discussion of Rin at that, I guess.
Yeah.
The completely accurate facts.
Yeah, there's not too much else as you can say.
No,
except for,
not that I want to. But because it's a shoujo, everything will be fine in the end, right?
Right.
It's rated T for teen. Nothing bad can happen. I mean,
nothing bad happens to teens.
Like, said everyone going to a lake house alone for the
Yes.
weekend ever. There's certainly not an axe murderer out here.
It could possibly happen at this summer camp for young teens.
Okay, good. Well, let's leave it at that. I don't have any other things I wanted to say. We do have some spoiler things that we can talk about, I think, perhaps. So we'll wrap up non-spoilers for now, but we'll talk about spoilers real quick after the music.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I honestly forgot. I was laughing so much that I forgot if I said my spiel. Hey, let's talk about spoilers.
All
Hey, let me get my greaser jacket. A bad influence, running around spoiling everyone. My poodle skirt.
Tell me more. Tell me more.
I got chills. They're multiplying. We already talked about Grease one time. We can't do that again.
Never seen that rule.
Yeah. A good point. We're just laughing because the only spoiler to talk about is Rin and how sad it is.
I do have one happier spoiler.
Oh, yeah? What is that?
Is that the scene with Hiro and Hanada kind of foreshadows Hiro's curse-breaking scene where he gets to hold her, and it's cute.
Yes. It's one of the, like, curse-breaking scenes that I find... I mean, they're all really great, but that one is, like, very touching, where he's, like... It's like, you know, he wants to be a good brother. He wants to be a good boy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we see scenes of him just like playing with his sister, but like, you know, only able to like, you know, hold his hands out to her and stuff. But in that scene, you see like he feels the curse breaking and immediately just picks up his baby sister. Like that's the first thing he does.
It's so cute.
Mm-hmm. And then their mom comes in and hugs them both.
Hugs all of them. So great.
Mm-hmm.
It is an uplifting. That's a good spoiler.
Yeah, it's a nice little bit of lightness.
Yeah. Yeah. After. Is it? I think it's Momiji first and then Hiro.
Mm-hmm.
After Momiji's kind of like, yeah, I need to think about it. I need to think about how I feel about you.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're like, he doesn't have any other like family or whatever.
Yeah.
He's kind of super alone. And then in Hiro's case, he immediately has his sister and his mom.
Yeah.
To give some big hugs.
Mm-hmm.
It's real cute.
All the
hugs. That's what we need.
Yeah. You know, she like never stopped hugging him for like a week straight after that.
She was just like, wow, you're not a sheep. Wow.
Yeah. Like, Mom, please. But
probably.
Loving it.
They probably hug all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. Probably. Secretly crying a little inside.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Mom, stop. I'm pretending to be a standoffish teenage boy. And inside, he's like super happy about it. This is more speculative headcanon that I can get behind. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, it's been a very very headcanon heavy episode.
In sadder news.
Yeah, Rin.
Sad. Very sad. Trapped in the cat's room.
Yeah.
Almost dead.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps. It's the very next one where Kureno...
Yeah, it leads right into it after...
Kureno finds the person going to this. Yeah. And then I think Hiro also finally talks to Haru. I'm just looking at
the next several chapters are all Rin heavy.
Yes. Which is like, yay, but oh.
Yeah. It gets happier at the end.
Well, Hiro's also finally able to talk about all the things that were like kind of weighing on him, so that's good too. Mm-hmm. I love Haru's like righteously angry face at the end of the next chapter. It's great.
Yeah.
104.
And we get another cute like pat on the head scene.
Patting people on the head is the ultimate way to show affection. This is what I learned from Fruits Basket.
Yeah. It's Haru pats Hiro on the head after he confesses all his dark knowledge.
Yes, dark knowledge.
But yeah, there's not too much to talk about since it's like immediately going to be dealt with. But
I mean, I don't have a lot to say except that it's cute, and it's the next two chapters that we're gonna talk about are pretty dark, but then like the part where, like Haru kind of like picks up Ren and stuff is really great. It's like also one of my favorite parts. It's very sweet.
Yeah, it's like the next bits are pretty dark, but then it ends in a nice place.
Yeah. And then she stays with Shisho, the best parent.
Yes. Taking in all the lost Junichi.
I don't have any other things that I want to talk about because we're going to talk about it next time, but
yeah.
Spoilers. It's going to be fun. So dark.
Yeah.
I had to get all my jokes in this time. There won't be jokes for next time. Probably.
Oh, I doubt that.
I doubt that. You doubt that there won't be jokes?
Yes.
We'll find something to joke about.
It's like, have you met us?
Yeah, no, you're right. The way that we deal with sadness is with humor, obviously. Okay, I don't have any other things to say. I think we can wrap it up for now. All right, cool. So next time we'll talk about chapters 104 and 105. It'll be a Rinstravaganza.
Yeah. Woo.
Woo? Question mark?
Question mark.
All right, thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time for that.
Bye.
Bye. At the main house, Kakeru visits... Kakeru.
That would be a twist.
Well, he is in contact with Yame, so it's like not really out of the question, but... Hello, it's Ellen. If you want to send us a question, you can find us on Twitter at staytogetherpod, on Tumblr at staytogetherpodcast.tumblr.com, or you can send us an email at staytogetherpodcast@gmail.com. Kayla and I want to keep creating podcasts and keep them ad-free, so if you like what you're listening to, please consider giving to our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/staytogethernetwork. Thank you always for listening and for all your support. We'll see you next time.